Thank you everyone for joining today. General Code's webinar, Give Your Community More, a Unique Approach to Codification. My name's Scott Murphy, and I'm the National Account Manager for General Code. And also Lorianne Shora and Faye Moore are on the phone as well, and they are the account managers for North Carolina and Texas, respectively. Joining me today to help present will be Patty Palmieri, who's the Director of Codification Operations, and Jeannie Sanders, who's the Education and Technology Specialist. Our agenda, what we'll cover today, we want to give you a very high-level overview of who General Code is, talk about our code-centric platform, our codification process, and then take you out and give you a live demonstration of our eCode 360 product that focuses on users. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to ask them using the questions button on the bottom right of your panel. The introduction to General Code. General Code is a full service codifier. We've been doing this for over 59 years. We have 102 employees. 30 of those are editors with over 420 years of service experience. With Patty on board, that's 450 years of experience. We are founded and headquartered in Rochester, New York. And as you can see down below with the map of the United States, we have clients in 30 states. So 3,200 clients in 30 states, and 2,800 of those customers have a live version of their code posted on our eCode product. We made a commitment a couple years ago to expand into Texas and North Carolina. We did this with our parent company, ICC, as they saw a unique opportunity with the growth that was happening in these two states, as well as the membership that they had in these states. General Code is a wholly owned subsidiary of International Code Council, or ICC. You may be familiar with ICC as they are the ones that create the International Building Code, the International Pool and Spa Code, and 15 other codes. They're the global leader in building and safety code development and publishing, and they have 6,400 members worldwide. Most US communities and many global markets choose ICC's codes. General Code and ICC have a very strategic alignment. We have with General Code as a strong partnership with local governments and jurisdictions. We also have our great code publishing capability and process, and with our focus on digital access and usability of content. Here I'd like to focus a little bit and talk about General Code's code-centric platform advantages. What we do is we take your code and store it as data. That gives us the ability to do multiple things with your code. So you see along the right-hand side, those things in the circle in dark green, those are different outputs we can do by having your code in our database. So we can print your code book, we can host your code and publish it on our eCode 360 platform, or if you simply need a PDF or a Word version of your code, we can print that out for you or send that to you electronically. We've also developed an API. This API allows other software providers to access your content or your code through our database in real time. And that also, by storing the code as data, it gives us the ability to leverage other products that we have, such as our MapLink product, where our MapLink product takes zoning information, couples that with parcel information, and displays it on a GIS map. So if somebody wanted to easily find out what their piece of property, what zoning restrictions or what their property is zoned for, they can go to that piece of property, click on it, and it'll tell them exactly what their property is zoned for. I'd like to turn it over now to Patty, and Patty will give an overview of the codification process.
Thank you, Scott. Hi, this is Patty. So I'm very excited to be talking to you today about codification. First, I'll explain a little about why codification is important and the expertise we've developed over the numerous decades. Then I'll talk about the typical codification process, including the major steps of the project and the tools that we use, and also the tools that we make available to the municipality to work with. So General Code has been building codes and recodifying them for nearly 60 years. And quite frankly, we're exceptional at it. A code is such an integral part of what helps a municipality administer and enforce its laws. It provides a consistent, coherent, and structured system across all the laws so that users can access, search, and easily use the content time after time. The code is also dynamic, so it's changing and evolving as the needs of the community evolve. And so keeping the code up to date with new laws and amendments, and also in line with state statute, is essential for municipalities and also for the public who are accessing the code. To give you a better sense of our codification expertise here at General Code, the 420 years of experience that Scott just mentioned within our editorial team of attorney editors and legal editors, 7 of those editors have 30 years or more of experience codifying and recodifying codes and providing consultative services to our clients. We're experts at research, analytical review, legislative evaluation, making content accessible, and maintaining that content through ongoing supplementation. At all stages, we strive to offer practical solutions for our clients. We started out 59 years ago focused in New York with local municipalities, and since then, we've been consistently expanding into new states so that we can bring our codification expertise to more municipalities. And so when we commit to expanding in a new state, our editorial team goes through a rigorous process to study and learn state statutes and the state requirements. This process, along with our expertise in codification, is what has enabled us to expand into over 30 states over the past 59 years. So the foundation of codification expertise is what we build from, and then we become expert in the state statutes and requirements. Codification is that important to a municipality, and it's that important to us to provide exceptional codification service to all the municipalities that we work with. In this next slide, we're going to look at the typical codification process. As you're reviewing the flowchart, you'll see it starts at the first square in the upper left with contract signing, and it moves from left to right and then down to the left again as we move through the project steps. And there are handoffs from our editorial team to the municipality and then back to us again. You can see the distinct milestones at each of the project stages, and also the municipality's role in reviewing and making decisions at each of those stages. Our codification process is a collaborative one, and we guide the municipality through this process. At each of these stages, we're submitting a deliverable that requires review and response. Once we get back the responses, we can then proceed to the next step and prepare the next deliverable. So starting the project, once we have materials, we prepare the organizational analysis, which establishes the framework and the structure of the code. And so this is the foundation of the code itself. Once we receive input from the municipality, we move on to the creation of the digital manuscript. And that's the point at which we do our legislative evaluation, is we prepare and submit the editorial and legal analysis with that manuscript. The municipality's review at this point is the most time intensive to work through. And so recognizing this from our experience over time, we're continuously striving to improve the tools that we use, and also what we're providing to the municipality to do the review and how they can review these materials most effectively. What used to be paper-based, a paper-based process for us with a paper output, a workbook, and editorial analysis output, privately, or even a PDF of that workbook, has become an online version that is a private logged in, users log into that version, and it's a work in progress version, easily accessible and searchable. And so now that online version is enhanced in another way to be interactive with the eCode 360. And we call this our eCode 360 code review. With these enhanced review tools that we provide today, we also offer webinar training sessions and project management guidelines to assist with learning the tools. And our editorial team is available to assist the municipality throughout the revision cycle. Once the municipality's review of the editorial and legal analysis is complete and we receive responses to the report, we incorporate the changes and we prepare and post a digital draft to the code review for final approval. And once we have that approval, we can proceed with code publication. And so at that point, we're submitting the proposed code adoption ordinance to help facilitate the adoption of the code. The adoption of the code with these changes from the editorial and legal analysis is essential in order to make it an enforceable tool going forward. Overall, our process is optimizing digital tools to enhance the municipality's experience in working through its review. Our eCode 360 code review tool is privately accessed by the municipality during the project. It integrates our questions interactively within the eCode. And as I mentioned, we utilize webinar training sessions to offer both training on the review tools and also consultation with our editorial team. And the objective of our digital process throughout the duration of the project is to provide online access as quickly as possible for municipal officials, as early as possible in the project, and then to maintain that access as the project milestones are completed so that the work in progress version of the code are posted and accessible for all the logged in users. So really the access to the eCode 360 begins during the project with code review, and then with final adoption and publication of the code, it transitions to the public version of eCode 360. And from there, codification project is complete. The code will transition into a maintenance cycle, what we call supplementation, and that's purpose is to keep the code updated over time. And so having walked through that, that represents the overview of our process and the stages that you can expect with a codification or recodification project with us. Thank you. Next, Scott is going to talk about eCode 360. Scott?
Yeah, thank you, Patty. So Patty just gave you a very good overview of our codification process. And now I'd like to talk a little bit about, after what Patty was saying, is then we take your code and we post it online. Jeannie's going to do an overview of the product as well and actually take you out there and show you some of the great features of the product. But real brief explanation of eCode 360 is basically we're hosting your online interactive version of your municipal code. It's specifically designed to house codified laws and municipal information in one convenient location. It meets the needs of a wide variety of users, from municipal staff to planners to constituents. Linked directly to eCode 360 from the municipal's website, and there's a mobile app as well. So the nice part about this tool is it's really maintenance free for the municipality. They provide a link on their website, and constituents can come and access eCode 360, do a search, and find what they're looking for. So now I'd like to turn it over to Jeannie, who will show you exactly how eCode 360 works.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Scott. And Patty, I need to tell you, today I was working with a customer who is building their code with us right now, and they're in the code review site, and she could not stop her excitement about when her code would be completed, because all of her neighbors have eCode, and she's been using their eCodes to find out what's in their codes. And it was just such a happy thing. And I knew we were going to be doing this presentation today, and I thought, oh, I wish she could join us. Very nice. Right now, I'm sharing my screen, and I'm showing you a completed eCode. This is Berkeley, Missouri, and their eCode is displaying the code sort of in the center of the screen, so any one of their residents can scroll through here, can click on any one of the chapters. I've opened up chapter 305 here. I can see that it's comprised of 7 sections, and I can scroll down here and read what's in the code. At any point that I want to, I can select a piece of the code, and this sort of goes to what Scott was saying in the beginning. The way that we enter the code as data allows people to pick out individual sections from the code, and then you see a menu popped up here. Anyone can print, email a link, or download a portion of the code so that they can use it, saving perhaps a trip into the office. I'm going to go back up to the top of their code here by clicking on the home button and showing you another thing that's available to everyone is a table of contents. It's sort of hidden away over here on the left-hand side of the screen. When I put my mouse over it, it flies out. I can scroll through the entire code very quickly and get to any piece in the code that I want to with a click of a button. You can see the middle part of the screen now reflects the chapter that I clicked on. The most popular thing that people do with E-code is to search it electronically. So we put that right at the top of the screen here. All one would need to do is click in that bar and type the term that they were interested in searching for, and then press the enter key. So I've searched on park, and you can see here there are 489 results. 236 of them are in the code, and then there are 4 results from new laws and 249 results from public documents, perhaps their minutes or agendas or comprehensive plans. If I click on any one of these categories, here I've clicked on new laws, instead of looking at all 489, now I just see those 4 new laws that have the word park in them. If I select just the code results, then I get further filtering available. So I can expand now, filter by chapter, and if what I really wanted was to know the parks chapter, I click on just that. There are only 13 results there. They're all displayed for me right here in the center of the screen. I can click on any one of these results, and then, if you will, the electronic code book is opened up right to the page where I clicked on that result. I can read everything here, and as I said earlier, I have all these little check boxes for every section of the code. It makes it very handy for me to be able to print or download any portion of that code. I'm going to click on the home button here to go back up to the top of the code and talk about a topic. I did say that you can scroll through and read your current code. One of the things I didn't say yet is always at the top of your code, you're going to see a date that lets the public know how up to date the code is. So it includes all the legislation through November of 2020. If any new legislation has been passed since that time, it will be housed over here on the left side in the new laws tab. So if I click on that, I will be able to review all of the 23 new laws that are in effect. One of the recent changes we've made to E-code is one of my favorites. If there is a new law that affects a chapter, the public doesn't even have to click on the new laws on the left-hand side. There will be an icon out here on the right to let somebody know there's a new law that affects this chapter. If I open up that chapter, then right at the top, there is a system-generated note with a link right to that new law so that somebody could have it all in the right place. Here is the code as it exists now, and if there are any new laws that affect this chapter, they will always be up here at the top. I'm going to click on the home button to go back to the beginning and then talk about the fact that when you, as municipal users, log into your E-code, there is some additional functionality that you get. So I'm going to show you here by clicking on this word admin where the little wrench is. It's going to take you away from your code now, and it takes you to a place that lets you know how often your code is accessed and what people are searching your code for. So here on the left side, you can see the most popular searches in the last 30 days, and on the right-hand side, in the last year. Very helpful information for not only you, but all department heads in the municipality. E-codes, municipality to municipality, are very, very similar. Not the same, but I want to show you that. So I'm going to click on a new tab just to take you to another municipality's E-code. You can see that their banner is slightly different, right? They left it saying the municipality name, haven't customized it to match their city website. But the code is all here in the center of the screen. If there were any new laws, they would be listed here. I took you to this one specifically because they have something interesting in their signs chapter. So I'm going to jump right down to their sign standards chapter 409 and show you that if your code has some of these special features, we can accommodate it. So I'm going to scroll through their code sort of slowly. In the beginning, it looks like the rest of the code we've seen, very text heavy, describing beautifully what it is. But pretty soon you get to some images, some drawings. E-code is able to handle drawings, images, pictures, and tables. So, and it's fully searchable. So everything you see here is searchable. If the table is simple, like the one we're looking at right here, then we can display it exactly as it is in your code. We can also handle tables that are a bit bigger. What you're going to see here is this particular sign allowances table is long, but you never lose the headers off your screen. So anyone who's having to work with this table, they have all the functionality they need. So what we try to stay away from is having to refer to attachments that are right not in line. This is an ideal way to handle it. So we wanted you to know that. There's another municipality that has a lot of tables in their code, and they're not vertical tables. They're more landscape tables. So let me show you a little bit about how that can be handled. I'm going to go to Article 3 here, their land uses and definitions, and I'm going to just click on one of them and scroll a little bit. So you see in the beginning, the text heavy information, but very shortly you get to icons that are bigger tables. And when all one would need to do is click on that table, and it expands and uses the full real estate of the screen. And you, if you didn't know before, you do now. A landscape table is more wide than it is tall. So if those are the types of tables you have in your code, we can accommodate that. For me, the beautiful thing is I can open that table, read what I need to read, and then close it, and it brings me right back to the place I was, and now I can look at another table. Once again, as I scroll through this table, you can see your headings all stay on the screen. It is perfectly usable, and once again, searchable. Going to open up another county's e-code, and here I've taken you to their building chapter. And the purpose of me taking you to their building chapter is to, again, circle back to something Scott said earlier. Due to our relationship with the International Code Council, they're our parent company, we can actually get their I-code and combine it, bring it all together into one if the individual municipality has amendments, like Harford County does. So you can see here, I've brought you right to the place in their code where they are talking about their international residential code. You can see that they adopted the 2018 version, but there are modifications. Where they talk about the modifications, there's a direct link to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to click on that, and what you're going to see is the ICC website will be opened up. It's going to take us right to that place in the code where Harford's codes are. I can click on any one of these codes. If I'm the public or a municipal user, I'm able to view it. I can go chapter by chapter. So let me just open up chapter 1, scope and administration. And everything is beautifully color coded. Any place where there's an amendment by the local jurisdiction, you're going to see it in this bright shining fuchsia color. Very handy for everyone in the municipality and anyone who does business in Harford County. And sticking with that same theme, the next thing I'm going to show you is how we can take your zoning code and attach it to GIS mapping assets to allow you to get the answers to very simple questions like, what can I do with my property and where can I open my business? So here we are looking at the city of Justin in Texas. On the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see a municipal boundary for Justin. On the left-hand side of the screen is where I can get the answers to very common zoning questions. So I'm going to click here on Find Property. I'm going to pretend that either someone has called in and asking about a piece of property, or I live and I want to know what I can do with my property. So I'm going to pretend they've said the address is 265 Avaletta. All I did was type in 265, and what pops right up is 265 Avaletta. I'm going to click right there on property details. And very quickly, our map is going to zoom in and show us where that property is in the municipality. It's going to tell us how it's zoned. So it's a single family residential property, It is also affected by the planned development overlay district. All I need to do is click right there on create a parcel summary, and what will open is a separate tab in my browser with all of the interactive zoning details. So I can tell if I want to begin a building project, I can expand the dimensional standards and know exactly what all the setbacks are, what the maximum building height might be, building area. All of that is summarized for this district, single family residential, and any other restrictions that might be in play because of being in the planned development overlay district. If what I was looking to find out is, can I use my home as a bed and breakfast, or can I run a home-based business? I can expand all of these uses and learn more. So yep, a home occupation is definitely something that we can do. Let me go back and look under commercial. If I wanted to use my property for a bed and breakfast, it is allowable. I'm going to show you one other thing that I really like. The information that we're seeing here is pulled right from the zoning code. So there are links that would get you right over to the zoning code and all of the important information that you might need in terms of procedures, what permits would be needed. And this would allow the public to get business done quicker. It allows the municipality the ability to answer questions quickly for people. So with that, I think I'm going to throw it back over to you, Scott, to wrap things up. And if there's any questions, I'll be right here standing by.
Great, thanks, Jeannie. Jeannie, I thought you did a great job explaining different uses of what, when I was talking about code as data, you did a great job of showing that in different uses of the code as data by showing the E-code product as well as then jumping into the MapLink product. So very nice, thank you for that. All right, are there any questions out there? Kayla, is there any questions we need to answer that you've seen come in?
Let's see. I actually have one for Patty. Patty, you had this great slide where you listed out the whole codification process. Can you tell us about how long codification projects take to complete?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my first answer is it depends, and it depends really on the review by the municipality of the various stages of the project really can drive the duration of the project. It can be as short as the municipal officials are able to turn around those reports, or as long as if they need more time to review them. So we might typically say a project is going to take 1 to 2 years, depending on the commitment level of those municipal officials that are engaged in this project, and really their ability to facilitate at their end the decision-making and review processes. But it would be fair to say, like, within 1 to 2 years, again, we recognize that there are other priorities that a municipality is dealing with when they have a codification project going on. So we always like to make sure that we understand what their priorities are and we give them enough time to review. But our target is usually within that time frame.
Yeah, and maybe just a clarifying point as well. If a municipality is already codified and they want to switch over to general code, we have a way to do that, which we call an e-migrate, and that actually takes about 6 to 8 weeks. So if the municipality is already invested and codified has done a codification process once, we can get them over into our system in a 6 to 8 week time frame and get them up and running on E-code as well in that time.
Great, thank you. I also have one more question for Jeannie. Somebody asked me about public documents. They saw it on the side of the screen on the left-hand side of the E-code 360 screen. Can you tell us what public documents are, please?
Yes, I'm so glad, because I talked a little bit about the fact that E-code holds your code and any new laws. It also holds any documents that you would want to upload for your public to see for transparency. The beautiful thing about uploading documents, and it's up to the municipality what they want to upload. They can upload minutes and agendas, budgets, comprehensive plans, legislation, and there's even an open bucket that we call miscellaneous documents The beautiful thing is it's all searchable. So and I have had people call and ask me this, if somebody wants to know how often Scott Murphy has been at their meetings, they can actually in the search bar type in Scott Murphy in quotation marks. And of course, Scott won't pop up as a result in the code, but if he's attended your meetings, you will know. And so that alone, the ability to search very quickly your public documents is a very big benefit to municipalities.
Awesome, thank you. That's all the questions for now.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope you get a better understanding of who General Code is. As you can see from the screen here, our rep in Texas is Faye, and then North Carolina is Lorianne. So if you have questions or want to learn a little bit more about us, please feel free to reach out to them. Thank you very much and have a good day, everybody.